Globes. A lot of time you are politically incorrect and hilarious, of course.
Thank you.
Thank
you.
So this is...
Well,
yeah.
Yeah, well, that's the thing about offence, isn't it? When people say they're offended, it's that just because you're offended, it doesn't mean you're right, you know? It's... offence is about feelings, and feelings are personal. Some people are offended by equality. So what? You know, so you can't second-guess people. If you try and please everyone, you'll please no one. With comedy as well, I think you've got to deal with taboos and contentious issues, and sometimes you deal in irony, and some people don't get that, but, you know, you can't legislate against stupidity, otherwise you'll be doing nothing. So if you're saying anything...
What happens when Ricky Gervais gets hold of a live microphone, finds himself in a room packed with Hollywood personalities, and ends up face to face with Whoopi Goldberg? Let's just say the result is pure chaos and plenty of laughs along the way. Every shocked reaction, uncomfortable pause, and awkward moment makes the whole thing even more entertaining. So buckle up, because this isn't your typical celebrity disagreement. What unfolds is a sharp, funny, and unforgettable clash that keeps everyone watching. And trust me, if you think that's wild, you're only getting started. Things get more awkward, more surprising, and a whole lot funnier from here.
Another theme of the show has been words change and I'm woke, haha. But here's the irony. I think I am woke, but I think that word has changed. I think if woke still means what it used to mean, that you're aware of your own privilege, you try and maximise equality, minimise oppression, be anti-racist, anti-homophobic, yes, I'm definitely woke. If woke now means being a puritanical, authoritarian bully who gets people fired for an honest opinion or even a fact, then no, I'm not woke. F*** that.
To really understand why everything unfolded the way it did, you have to remember who Ricky Gervais is. He's not your typical comedian looking for approval, applause, or social media praise. His reputation was built on saying things that many people think but are afraid to say out loud. Ricky has never been known for following the usual rules. He doesn't spend much time worrying about who he's supposed to joke about or what topics are considered off limits. Instead, he looks at the absurdities of modern life, points them out with a straight face, and leaves the audience to decide whether to laugh, cringe, or both. That's exactly what makes him so unpredictable, and why people can't stop watching when he takes the stage.
Well, I am woke now, and I can prove it. Here you go. I love illegal immigrants. Yeah, sue me now. Sometimes I go down to Dover for the day, right? And I look out, right? I look for a boat, and I see a dinghy with about 60 of them, and I go over here, like, right? And I pull them into shore, and I go, women and children first. They go, there are no women and children. Just you lads, is it? Just, come on, lads. Come on, lads. If I go down there one day and there's no boat, I am absolutely gutted.
This is the same Ricky Gervais who stepped onto the Golden Globe stage and left some of Hollywood's biggest names squirming in their seats. Nothing seemed off limits. Major companies got called out, celebrities were mocked, and the industry's favorite talking points were put under the spotlight. While many came prepared with polished speeches and carefully crafted messages, Ricky showed up with his usual mix of humor, sarcasm, and blunt observations. Then there's Whoopi. As a longtime Hollywood figure and one of the most recognizable faces on daytime television, she's no stranger to sharing strong opinions. From her seat on The View, she spent years weighing in on politics, culture, and the latest controversies, often delivering her perspective with confidence and conviction.
Why hide it?
Oh.
I don't think that you lose your sensuality or your beauty because you hit 53. I'm saying, why are they hiding it?
Oh, I see.
Do you think that the joke, when you have to explain the joke, that maybe it wasn't told, that because people didn't get it, or you think that most people got it?
I'm defending my motives, not the joke. I stand by the joke. Yeah. I don't think I have anything to apologise for, but that's not the joke. I think if you're going to criticise, you've got to understand the joke before you can.
Okay, how about this one?
In recent years, Whoopi has often found herself at the center of debates about modern culture and comedy. On The View, she's frequently weighed in on topics like accountability, public criticism, and the role entertainment plays in shaping social conversations. Supporters see it as thoughtful commentary, while critics argue that it can sometimes come across as overly focused on what should or shouldn't be acceptable. One moment that sparked plenty of discussion was a segment where she and her co-hosts talked about how comedy has changed over time. The conversation centered on whether comedians should adapt to shifting audience expectations and cultural norms. For some viewers, it sounded like a reasonable discussion about evolving standards. For others, it felt like comedy was being asked to pass through a growing list of unwritten rules before anyone could laugh.
Because it's such a privilege, and freedom of speech is so important these days. And you've got to, you know, I've reached the age now where I don't care anymore. You know what I mean? It's like,
welcome aboard,
what's the worst that can happen?
Welcome aboard.
I'm going to die soon.
Yeah.
So I'm offended. I'm going to die. So what? You know, so...
You made enough money at this point.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't have to care.
You know, I'm going to give that to animals anyway, just to see
Are you?
that on my stupid family's face. Leave it all to animals.
That's when things really started to get interesting. Because when you hand Ricky Gervais a live mic and put him in a room full of Hollywood personalities, you don't get a calm discussion, you get chaos. Ricky has never been known for holding back, and this time was no different. Before anyone could settle in, he fired off a series of sharp jokes that had the room caught between laughing and looking uncomfortable. It wasn't just a roast, it felt like he was challenging some of the biggest assumptions in entertainment with his trademark sarcasm and blunt humor. Whoopi tried to keep her composure, but the tension was hard to miss. Meanwhile, the audience looked divided. Some seemed ready to applaud, others weren't quite sure how to react. One thing was clear, Ricky had everyone's attention, and he wasn't about to let go of it.
It's nice to look back and it's a celebration. I talk about my mum and dad and who aren't with us anymore, and jokes about the mum and mum's funeral, you know, because that's what I think that's what humour's for. It gets us over bad stuff. So it's a sin to joke about all the bad things. That's a waste, because that's exactly what we should joke about.
At one point, the atmosphere was so tense you could almost imagine someone looking for a place to hide. Ricky, meanwhile, seemed completely at ease. That's always been his style. No matter how controversial the topic, he delivers his jokes with the same calm, deadpan confidence. Every punchline landed with precision, and it was clear he wasn't worried about winning approval from everyone in the room. This wasn't really a debate or even a back-and-forth conversation. It felt more like a one-man comedy performance, with jokes coming so quickly that people barely had time to react before the next one arrived. And Ricky's target wasn't just Whoopi. He was taking aim at a much broader culture of celebrity outrage, public virtue signaling, and the endless cycle of online controversies. Whether people agreed with him or not, one thing was certain, he had everyone's attention.
How arrogant are you to think that you deserve to go through life with no one ever saying anything that you don't agree with or like? I want people to stop saying that joke's offensive. Yeah. I want them to start saying I found it offensive, because that's all it is. You're just telling me how you feel about it. Yeah. There's nothing intrinsically offensive about this joke. You don't have to pave the jungle. Yeah. You can just grow up there and have a laugh about it. Yeah, but you shouldn't hurt people's feelings. Well, you can if their feelings are wrong. Yeah. Yeah. You know, if you don't like the facts, don't change the facts, change the feelings. Yeah. You know?
He went after the culture of oversensitivity like it owed him something, and in his eyes, maybe it did. Somewhere along the way, comedy got tangled up in outrage cycles and hashtag storms, but Ricky has never really played along with that game. By the time he finished his set, the room was sitting in that uneasy silence where people aren't sure whether to laugh or rethink their life choices. The reactions said it all. Confusion, shock, and a lot of, did he really just say that? Whoopi tried to respond with her usual confidence, but the moment felt off balance. Going up against Ricky in that setting isn't easy. His delivery is calm, his timing is sharp, and he never seems rushed or rattled. Whatever pushback came back didn't quite land, and the energy stayed firmly in his control. And even after he leads the stage, the moment doesn't really end. It spills out online, where everyone replays it, debates it, and turns it into yet another cultural flash instantly, like a viral moment that got out of hand in seconds. One side was laughing, the other was furious, and the whole internet turned it into a full-blown debate. Meanwhile, Ricky was doing what he always does, staying silent off stage and letting the jokes speak for themselves. No apology came, no long statement, no carefully worded PR response. Just more humor and complete refusal to backpedal. That's been his approach from the start. Say what he says, stand by it, and move on. Online, critics called it harsh and unnecessary, while supporters saw it as classic Ricky, unfiltered comedy aimed at everyone, not just easy targets. And like every time he sparked controversy, the noise grew louder than the moment itself, turning a comedy set into a culture war all over again.
For that tweet.
But here's the irony. Some of the critics probably laugh too. They just won't say it out loud, because admitting it doesn't fit the image they're trying to maintain. Ricky has always claimed he's just saying what many people think but don't express publicly. The things that get held back in conversation, softened for approval, or avoided altogether out of fear of backlash. That's part of why his style hits so hard. Most modern comedy tends to be carefully filtered, shaped by expectations, and tested for reactions before it even reaches the stage. Ricky takes the opposite approach. He goes straight for the joke, no padding, no hesitation, and no concern for who might be uncomfortable. And that's where the contradiction shows. A lot of people enjoyed him when he was targeting powerful figures and institutions. But when the tone feels aimed closer to their side of the conversation, the reaction changes fast. What was once called bold suddenly becomes controversial.
You remember those jokes we used to have when we were kids, like doctor jokes, like, doctor, I keep thinking I'm a pair of curtains. Well, pull yourself together then, right? I've done a woke version of that, brought it up to today's standards, right? So, bloke goes to the doctor. He goes, doctor, I keep thinking I'm a pair of curtains. And the doctor goes, well, you are then.
Ricky Gervais is no stranger to controversy, and whenever he steps on stage with a live mic, especially in front of Hollywood figures like Whoopi Goldberg, things tend to get uncomfortable fast. Ricky's style has always been direct. He doesn't focus on playing it safe or avoiding offense. Instead, he goes straight for sharp, unfiltered humor that challenges the room and pushes back against what he sees as oversensitive culture and entertainment. Goldberg, known for her long career in television and outspoken commentary on shows like The View, often represents a more structured, rules-based view of comedy and public discussion. That contrast is where the tension comes from. Two very different approaches to what comedy should be in today's world. When those ideas clash, Ricky leans into sarcasm and blunt jokes, while others argue for restraint and sensitivity. The result is never just a simple disagreement. It becomes a bigger conversation about where comedy fits in modern culture. In the end, it's less about who won and more about the divide itself. Free, provocative humor versus a more controlled, cautious approach to comedy, and that debate isn't going away anytime soon.